Okay, welcome everybody to accelerating creating solutions on SharePoint using the BPA xRM platform. I'm going to be with you for the next 40 minutes, giving you an overview of BPA, the platform and its components, and then actually showing you a live demonstration of a solution that was built using the platform around asset management tracking. So a couple items. We will try to answer questions during the presentation and broadcast. So if you put those into the little control panel for the GoToWebinar, we'll try to get to those. If not, we'll email you the answers after. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. If you can't, please chat to me so that I know that you cannot hear me. We are recording this webinar so that we'll have that posted on our website with a link to that going to you after the presentation is finished. So from there, let's move ahead and we'll break this presentation into two parts. The first part will be the PowerPoint, and then the second part will be the live presentation and demonstration. So again, thank you all for coming, and I look forward to spending some time with you. So welcome. So BPA is fast becoming the emerging standard for SharePoint-based solutions. This standard represents solutions that serve the needs of people that work every day to make your business run. A standard that delivers technology that works the way they work and empowers your most important assets with the information they need. As a world market leader for SharePoint Business Solutions with over 800 customers and supporting 12 languages and being delivered through over 50 partners, solutions that are implemented with BPA are a safe, secure, reliable, and scalable investment. Welcome to the next generation business solutions. With BPA, you have a trusted vendor with a single enterprise platform that delivers many solutions. Our platform, called xRM, includes 30 enterprise quality components, making it the most powerful SharePoint solution in the marketplace. These solutions are designed to keep you in control through standard SharePoint configuration and to be fully extensible through complete integration with powerful SharePoint-based services. By removing the need for development, you minimize your cost, risk, and time to deploy a solution and can now deliver a system that fits your business needs. As you can see here, the BPA xRM platform supports both the SharePoint 2010 and 2013 on-prem SharePoint implementations. BPA solutions simply work better because they run on SharePoint. The BPA Extended Relationship Management, which is what xRM stands for, complements the robust SharePoint framework with powerful features driving business efficiency and improving the user experience. With the BPA xRM platform, companies can better serve the business needs for solutions and IT's need for control. The BPA mobile solution is your every moment companion. Never be without the information you need when you need it. You'll be able to update lists, access documents, get phone numbers, be reminded of tasks. With the BPA mobile solutions, you can work with your smartphone or tablet to be productive when on the run and even when offline. So the solutions you build using the xRM platform and any other SharePoint lists that you want to use are accessible through the BPA mobile platform. So a quick and intuitive interface enables you to find the information when you need. Administrators will love the web-based mobile administration console, where you can easily manage users and security privileges. And the BPA mobile solutions are also now available with iOS for the iPhone, a separate app for the iPad, and soon the Android operating system. So let's talk a little bit about the Extended Relationship Management solution. The key benefits of this package are it enables you to extend SharePoint possibilities with a coherent web part package. What that means is the web parts themselves are installed with a single platform. So just simply through Central Admin, you install the xRM platform. The licensing enables 3 different levels of bundles of the web parts. And while each of the web parts are independent, they do act as a single platform. So that when we do upgrades and new versions throughout the year, you will not have to upgrade individual web parts as with other vendors, but you will simply upgrade the platform and everything will be on the current revision. We say that you can also reduce time to reach functional governance within SharePoint. And what that means is that both UI design as well as the way you manage your data is consistent across all of the solutions that you deploy using the xRM platform. Plus, what we see is that many of the web parts are designed to improve the user experience in both entering data and accessing information. And through these various web parts, user adoption rates for utilizing SharePoint go up because being able to find data, edit data, search for data, filter data, and the like is very intuitive and easy to use with the xRM platform. So the key benefit of what we bring to the table is we like to say we turn SharePoint from a list-based system into more of a relational database. And what that means is we all know SharePoint is list-based. Lists are essentially spreadsheets of information. So as you create many, many lists, let's say in this case we've got a list of assets for a company. We've got another list that shows a component, and a third list that is, let's say, an owner or an employee list. And what we want to begin doing is relating information between these lists to each other. So for example, down below we've created an asset, which is a Sony Vaio. We can see all of the related components to that Sony Vaio: Windows 8, 64 gigs of RAM, 200 gigabyte hard drive, Office 2013. And we can also see from the owner's list that that particular asset is owned by myself, Rob Manfredi, located in Building 5. Now, when you start creating these many-to-many relationships, what the xRM platform allows you to do is automatically create these associations or have the associations automatically looked up or cascaded depending on the data that you're putting in. And we'll see that in action on the asset tracking system that we're going to go to. But once these relationships are created, they also work in reverse. So that if I were to take a look at the owner, Rob Manfredi, I could see that I have many assets, including that Sony Vaio we just looked at, a Windows Phone, and a Windows Surface Pro. Of course, as you drill into each of those assets, you could see all the different components related to them. So whether you're looking at a specific asset, whether you're looking at a specific owner, or anything else that you want to create within your application, all of these web parts together with the xRM technology allow you to automatically create these relationships to turn SharePoint into a powerful application-based engine. And that's what we're going to see in the demo portion of this webinar. Okay, just checking for questions. Nothing yet. So, we've got a screenshot here of the system that we're going to take a look at in a second. And what I want to point out here is the cohesive nature of how these web parts work together on a single platform. Now, as you know, BPA is known for a lot of its off-the-shelf solutions, including CRM, risk management, and quality management. These solutions are all built on the xRM platform. So what we find is whether a customer starts with one of our off-the-shelf solutions or uses our platform to develop their solutions, we give them a great starting point so that they can quickly configure the lists that we've created into lists that they need. In this case, we've actually pulled together on the home page several of our web parts onto this page to present the information we see. So for example, we've got the BPA search web part, which allows you to search across specific lists or across the entire site. We've got our interactive charting functions. We've got our data viewer web part. We've got tabbed views, which are simply standard SharePoint views that are in a tab format so that people can click between my equipment, my requests, my upcoming tasks, and the like. We can see down here that we've got filtered views so that if you're bringing back large amounts of data into a view through the data viewer web part, you can filter these views, and they are also hierarchical. So you could say, show me all the technology where the conditions are great, or show me all the equipment in the Leesburg office, and of course all of that can be exported to a spreadsheet as well. And we've also got our BPA navigation web part. So what we see here is a series of web parts working together using the BPA page web part so that we can create a very meaningful page that is easy to navigate for your users. And whether you're looking at asset management, whether you're looking at case management, whether you're looking at just simple request management, contract management, document management, whatever, these web parts can be used to present the data and allow the users to easily navigate that data as well. So there are over 40 integrated web parts. As I said, it is a single installed platform that keeps versioning in control. You can activate these web parts on any of your subsites to create as many applications as you'd like across your farm. We offer 3 editions of our bundled web parts, the Standard, Professional, and Enterprise. This provides scalable capabilities based on your needs. It also allows the price to fit your budget or your project requirements and the like. And what I'd like to do now is go through a couple of the key web parts that are part of those 40. Obviously, we're not going to go through them all, but let's talk about a couple of them and how they are used. The Data Viewer web part is a central component that will optimally highlight relationships between lists and libraries. This is the relationships that we've been talking about. All important data is visible in one single page. There are 20+ action buttons, and we'll see those during the asset management, that are available to work with the data, such as moving it, copying it, sending an email, adding a new line item, and the like. We also enable free text search or filters in each column, which we saw as well. So the Data Viewer is a key web part that you'll use over and over with your applications. The Page web part is a tool that will give you more flexibility to configure a mixed set of BPA components in tabs and pages within your site. The Data Editor, which goes hand in hand with the Data Viewer, is a tool to improve SharePoint forms with intelligent lookup fields, cascading lookup rules, field permissions, collapsible sections, and tabs. This will also prevent you from entering duplicates in the system. One moment, please. Moving right along, the Search tool is an integrated search tool that enables searching in specific lists or across an entire site. The Reminder tool is a powerful tool that allows administrators to send automatic email alerts based on field conditions. Now, this is different than SharePoint alerts, but what we use the Reminder tool often is for those tasks that need to simply send out notification that something's been changed, modified, or updated, rather than writing a workflow to do that. Within our site, we've got a section called Tips from Townsend, which has a full explanation of how the Reminder tool is used within the solutions. Moving right along, we have a great tool called Field Replication. And this tool will replicate a field value from a list to another. It's used to perform also calculations with parent-child lists. So oftentimes, based on data in one list, you want to do a calculation in another list and replicate the data from one list to another. And the Field Replication tool is an amazing, easy tool to use. We've also got Full Replication, where it allows you to replicate, aggregate, or consolidate data from a SharePoint site, list, or view to another site. We can do this across servers or farm replication as well. This tool is, of course, transparent for users. We use the replication tool for our help desk system. So we've got one solution that is customer-facing, that allows clients to open up a ticket. We then replicate that information to our internal CRM, where we work on those tickets, have internal conversations, and then select data that wants to be posted back out to the client is then replicated back to the help desk on the external side, so that the client can see the requests, status updates, and the like. We also have an external data connector web part, which allows the mass importing or syncing of SQL data within SharePoint. We use this often when a client has vendor data, pricing data, product data that is in an external system, but they want that synced to their solution that they're building on SharePoint, and the external connector allows you to do that. And of course, we've talked extensively about our mobile app, but it is very unique and pretty amazing. It is a native app for both the iPhone, iPad, and the Android is coming out this quarter. It is a highly configurable app that delivers full relationship management with your mobile devices, even while offline. We provide a central user management console that allows you to link users and devices to specific SharePoint sites. That includes sites that have the XRM platform or any other SharePoint site that you want to give users access to look at document libraries or lists of data. Now, we just looked at about 8 or 9 of the 40 web parts that we provide within the XRM platform at the enterprise level, and we welcome providing a full list to you for attending this webinar. We've got lots of customers worldwide that range from the Fortune 50 down to smaller organizations that really have embraced SharePoint. And that's the common thread for all of our clients. They believe SharePoint is that tool to automate frontline businesses and their solutions, and what we want to do is enable you to do that better and faster. Pricing for the system is all located on our website through our online quote system. Simply find the online quote system off the home page, and you can start to build a customized quote or contact us in sales. So in terms of next steps before we get to the demo, we'd be happy to talk to you about your requirements, look at some of your budget numbers, talk about the solution that you're looking to build. We can actually create a virtual environment for you and start building out the concepts of what your solution could look like using the XRM platform. We'd be happy to present that to you one-on-one or to your team, and then even provide a 30-day on-site trial to the XRM platform, along with what we call a config session, and that's where our pre-sales engineer will spend an hour with you working with the web parts that are key to your solution and help you develop the starts of that solution on your platform internally to make it a showcase for your business users. Okay, let's take a look at our asset tracking system and move from there. Okay. So what we have here is a SharePoint 2013 site with the XRM platform enabled on a site collection. We have started with a CRM template, and we left this logo up there just because I wanted to remind you that we have templates that allow you to then rename lists, items, and information to quickly create a system to solve your business needs. And in this case, what we're doing is a simple asset management system. And in this case, what we're going to do is track equipment, technology, office furniture, and any assets we have by location, by configuration, and by employee. So those are the many-to-many relationships that we're creating so that we can get a full view of what's happening. We've also enabled another list around asset requests so that employees can request an asset, which will then create tasks for the ops people to go ahead and fulfill that, assign the asset, and off it goes. So what we're seeing is all standard SharePoint lists that are now being surfaced through the application through various BPA web parts. So on this home page, where I'm here, we can see the BPA navigation web part over here. We can see 2 data viewer web parts, one that is looking at views for my specific equipment requests, my upcoming tasks, and my current events. And then down below, a more global view across the equipment dashboard and task dashboard. We've also enabled a couple of our charts and graphs to show you the different assets we have that we're managing, as well as costs by equipment category down here. Now, if we look at this, this really is a page. And what I want to do is just take a second before we move into the application and show you the web parts that we have here. So, oops, click that one too many times. So here is the first data viewer web part. This is the second data viewer web part, and these are the different configuration names that are used to show the information within those tabs. We can see over here on the right we've got our 2 charts, and then the navigation web part over here on the left. Let's go ahead and edit the data viewer, and we can see within each of the configurations we can go ahead and click the pencil and view those configurations. What you'll see is it is all configuration, it is not code, and in this case we've given the configuration a configuration title. We can document what the description of this title is supposed to be, and then we can take a look at the different data sources. And in this case we can use security to log into a different domain, but we're simply going to be looking at the equipment request list, and then we've got a standard SharePoint view, which is my equipment requests. So simply by creating the view, it becomes enabled within the data viewer web part, and then allows you to pull back the data from that list into that tabbed view that we saw before. On the display mode, we can choose to turn on or off different functions within the results. In this case, we want to make sure we display the filter boxes. We can hide the header line. We can make them read only, and we can display different item checkboxes and the like. What is interesting is on the feature side, you can choose or not to choose the inline edit icon, the delete icon. We can also take a look at the summary page pop-up, which is a little JavaScript piece that allows you to view deeper into that list item without having to do a page flip to the actual list. So we'll see that in a second. We talked about those actions that can be added to any of our items within a list, and this is where you would assign those actions, where you can add a new item, edit an item, delete an item, send an email with our email app. You can localize the data with Google Maps or with Bing. You can create alerts, export contacts, and we'll see this where we're turning essentially these items on and off. And of course we do allow for LinkedIn connection as well. So let's go ahead and just close this and go back then and show you what we were just seeing. So we saw here that we had the delete button, we had the edit button, and then the pop-up. So if we look at the pop-up, essentially it brings in another SharePoint view and allows you to quickly move down your list without having to do a page flip. So when we talked about our user adoption, it's these kind of things that really polish off your application to allow users to quickly navigate. If every time they had to look at, let's say, this small column of 3 or 4 items that you chose to display, and you had to click on the details to go page flip over to the Adobe Illustrator, see all the details, that could be very time consuming and frustrating. With the Popup Viewer, again, just something nice to have that helps the users navigate lots of data. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at a record. So we're going to move into the detailed view of the employee list, and you can see we've got 3 employees here, Kevin, Rob, and Stefan. And if we click on one of these employees, let's say Stefan, we get to the contact details. Again, we provide the tab views so that you can see the full list items for that contact, and then also create a tab view that is really just the important things. And what this does, it allows you to create a better presentation of lots of data, that you can push some of it that may not be important into other views, and then bring the most important to the front view, but also control the page layout so that you're not having a big scrolling list every time you come over here. These buttons at the top are those action buttons that we talked about before. In this case, we've chosen to turn on the duplicate so that when you're typically working with a contact and you want to create, let's say, another contact from that same company, you can hit duplicate. It will transfer the information from this contact to a new contact that you want, and then maybe just leave name and phone number empty for you to put in there. So it acts the way you want it to act, but it is one of our action buttons. Export contact is to push contacts out to Outlook. You can delete the contact, and of course you can edit it. Down below in this data viewer web part, we've got the same thing but a different set of action buttons. Right here, as we create views into other lists, for example, for Stefan, we can see all of the equipment from the equipment list that's related to him, any cases, any tasks, calendar items, and attachments. So in this case, we can see Stefan has Microsoft Surface and an Adobe Illustrator version of Illustrator. So essentially, this is coming from the equipment list, right? So here we're on the contact details. If we go into the Microsoft Surface, we're now going to be zooming into the equipment list, right? And we're going to see all of the details related to that equipment. Okay? That's where the many-to-many relationship happens. And the way that works is if we go back to Stefan and we want to add a new piece of equipment for him, by clicking on that, it's asking me, am I going to add a piece of technology, software, or furniture? Let's give him a new desk. So we're going to call this a desk. And we're going to say the condition is in great because it's new. Now, what we see is that this desk is already related to the employee Stefan Lutz. And it did that through our cascading lookup fields, where since we were on the contact details page, it knew to add Stefan. Now this can do lots of things. This can do either pre-filling information. It can also be conditional. So let's say it brought up the Washington, D.C. office. Then it may bring up only employees who are associated with that Washington, D.C. office. So you can do what's called a cascading lookup that way, right? And the like. Of course, these are just standard SharePoint fields. And what we're doing is we're presenting the users through our form editor an easier way to add data from a pre-population, from a type-ahead lookup, because you can see as I look things up, it will automatically pre-populate from very large lists of data information to categorize what I'm putting in here. So we'll give them a nice $500 desk, and we'll go ahead and save it. So what we now see related to Stefan Lutz in the contact details are the three items that have been assigned to them. Now, since these are items in lists, you can also run workflows based on the addition of items, right? It's SharePoint. So, for example, if you had a policy that whenever you assigned a certain type of asset to an individual, you could create a task through workflow that has a review of that item in 6 months to check on its condition, right? And then, of course, that would become a task maybe within the case situation and the like. So if you look here, we can also see different cases, which are he's looking for a laptop. He's also looking for a copy of Office Pro and the like. So again, what we're doing is we're creating those relationships between one list and lots of other lists to create that 360-degree view. Similarly, as we look at facilities, we can see we've got a couple different facilities. We've got our Leesburg office space. We've got our Washington, D.C. office space. If we look in Washington and the details of it, we can see all of the equipment that is located in that office. In this case, it is just a desk. So not a lot of data here, but you definitely get the idea of what we're doing here. And by iterating through these relationships, we can quickly create all sorts of applications to serve the needs of what your users are asking for. From a dashboard standpoint, we do enable lots of different reporting through our reporting tool. We've got a query tool that allows you to build reports, and the results of those reports are actually pushed out to a page or consumed by our data viewer, and that can then be pushed out to a spreadsheet. We've also created some dashboards where we've got custom columns that allow you to assign KPIs. So in here we can see those 30 and 90-day audits for an asset have been assigned to Kevin. The due date's 10/23 and 12/22. This was actually created by that workflow. And we can see that the expected date that this is due versus today is all green light. So we can have some nice KPIs put into our dashboards. Again, this is all being consumed through our data viewer web part. If we look at our case dashboard, we can see that Kevin's been assigned a virus notification. There's a laptop request to me, and that Office Pro, those are for Stefan. So if I wanted to see this, I could use my little pop-up and see that the contact is Stefan. It's in the appropriate amount of threshold for days open. There are no overdue tasks in there, and our expected answering days versus actual are still fine as well. If I want to go ahead and open this and fulfill that request, we will go ahead, go into the details of that case, and what I will do is, let's say I'm going to log a call with Stefan. conversation. It's okay if the laptop is reconditioned. So we just log that. You can see it's already related to the contact Stefan. It's already related to this case laptop request. We'll go ahead and save it. And then once that's saved, along with this case, we now have a history of tasks that have happened. And then we can go ahead and deliver it. And we'll go ahead and close this out. And we'll say it's completed. We'll close the date today. And then that case is finished and moved on. So, just like building any application, we always start with requirements. We take those requirements, we associate them with the lists, the items within the list, and then we start creating views and the relationships that will drive your application. Once that's all done, your solution can then be tested and deployed and allow for quick iteration with your users as they begin using it and the like. There's a couple questions. First question is this available for Office 365? We are working on a version for Office 365. We have what's called a controlled beta of our CRM solution in Office 365 that is free. It is not configurable, but it allows you to at least use the solution in Office 365. We're working on performance issues and just the general rollout of how Office 365 works with Azure. Let's see. Thank you for pointing out that. Yeah, we just built this yesterday, and it's not fully polished, and I apologize. Kevin Townsend, who is the guru of this, came down with the flu last night, which meant I had to learn the system inside and out this morning for doing the demo, so I apologize if I got a little squirrely on it in areas, but I think you get the idea. Thank you for that, Edwin. Faceted search via the primary metadata elements such as employee, assets, case, etc. Yeah, so our search tool allows you to do that, and we can get into a little more detail, but since it is all list data, you can use standard SharePoint fast search or whatever search you're currently using. But you can also search, let's say, for items that are just within cases or different lists that you want to have within here. So there is some faceted search. It doesn't allow you at a metadata level to say, show me all PCs that are laptops. However, the way we would do that is you could come in here, and with our filters, we can filter on things that are equal, not equal, less than or equal to, or is empty. So if we wanted to say, like we said before, all items that, that are technology and that are computers. Why isn't that working? Sorry about that. Contains. There we go, computer. I had probably my wrong filter on there. We can then filter this down, and then within this data editor, I could turn on the ability to export this to a spreadsheet to create some pretty nice reports as things are exported out there. Okay, so that kind of wraps up the demo and the presentation. I think you get an idea. Now, really, the offer we have is that we would love to perform either an on-site or a cloud trial of our solution and give you a more specific one-on-one tour of the web parts and how you can use them. We'd even like to work with you in maybe developing a prototype solution using the web parts. And we find that people who really know SharePoint really like the sort of quickness in which you can do some things that seem pretty time-consuming to do. We can configure a lot faster and end up with a much more elegant result for your customers. So just to wrap up, from a contact standpoint, the company is located in Switzerland. However, on the East Coast, myself can work with you, and here's my email. On the West Coast, Morris Abel, just below San Francisco, can work with you on the West Coast, but you can just email us at sales@bpasolutions.net, and we will come back to you. Look for a follow-up email from us shortly, and we'd be happy to talk with you soon. The Office 365 version, Carrie, is it's called CRM Lite. Lite. If you search for BPA Solutions within the App Store, you'll find it straight away. Thank you all, and a recording will be coming out shortly. Have a great day.